Hello students. The lecture of today what we have about introduction of motivation. Motivation describes the wants or needs that direct behavior towards a goal. The word motivation is derived from the Latin word movere that means to move, that which makes a person to action or to behavior and continues them to actions. The inner state or inner drive or the desire of a person to do something is generally called as a motivation. It is just a psychological force within an individual that sets him in motion for achievement of certain goals or satisfaction or certain needs. So the psychologist believes that if we can identify what motivate a person, we can understand the person. It is just an energy that gives them the strength to get up and keep going even when things are not going their way. According to Flippo, motivation is the process of attempting to influence others to do your will through the possibilities of gain or reward. Uh, or why do people work? Work is form of activity that has a social approval and satisfy a need of the individual to be active. Some of the reasons that people work are to produce, to create, to gain respect, to earn money and prestige. So, motivation refers to the states within a person or animal that derives behavior towards some goals. Motivation means the classes of operations. Motivated employee always look for better way to do a job. Motivated employee are more quality oriented. Motivated workers are more productive. So the average workplace lies about midway between the extreme of high threats and high opportunities. Motivation by threat is a dead end strategies, and naturally staffs are more attracted to the opportunity side of the motivation curve than the threat side. At a workplace, the performance of an employee or performance of an individual is always a function of motivation and his ability and his environment. So the motivation basically describe the wants or needs that direct behavior towards a goal. It is an arc to behave or act in a way that will satisfy certain conditions such as our wishes, desires or goals. So motivation are commonly separated into a two things. One is a drive and second one is a motive. Drive are biological, like thirst, hunger, sleepiness, and the need to reproduce, all of which lead us to seek out and take part in a certain activity that is called as a drive. Drives are believed to originate within a person and may not require external stimuli to encourage behavior. And now, what if motives? Motives, on the other hand, are primarily driven by a social and psychological mechanism, such as a work, like family, or like certain types of relationships. They include factors like praise and approvals. Both drives and motives can be manipulated by stimulation and deprivations. So, motivation can be stimulated by uncomfortable or aversive conditions or events like shocks, loud noise, excessive heat, or cold can motivate us to seek better conditions, or by attraction to positive or pleasure conditions or event such as food or sex. We also become motivated when we are deprived of something that we want or need, like adequate nutrition or social contracts. There are so many things which work for motivation. Individuals performance at workplace basically depends on our ability, like his skills, his competence and clarity of mind to do a job, and the desires to accomplish the task. that is called as a motivation. If we can understand and apply the concept of motivation, we can increase the performance of an employee for the achievement of organizational objective. Now, nature of motivation, as we already said, it is related with the drives and motives. So it is just based on our motives. It affecting the way of motivating peoples or influencing individuals. It is always a goal oriented behavior or goal directed behavior which helps to seeking a goals or performance, and it is always related to the level of satisfaction, and person is motivated in totality. That's why motivation is not a personal trait but an interaction between the individuals and situations. It lead to an action that is a goal oriented. Motivation lead to accomplishment of organizational goals and satisfaction of personal needs. Motivation is influenced by, generally influenced by two forces. First one is internal forces, that these forces are internal to the individuals, like their needs, wants and their natures. And second forces is that is an external forces. These forces are external to the individuals, which may be organizational related, such as a management philosophy, organizational structure and superior and subordinates relationships, and also the forces found in the external environment, like culture, custom, religion and uh, religion and values of individuals. So human behavior is highly complex and it become extremely difficult to understand people at work. So motivation is generally a dynamic and a complex process. Now there are two motivational concepts used. First is a intrinsic and second one is a extrinsic motivation. Motivation is conceptualized as either intrinsic or extrinsic. Classically, these categories are regarded as distinct. Today, these concepts are less likely to be used as distinct category, but instead as two ideal types that define a quantum. So, first of all, first is a intrinsic motivation. It occurs when people are internally motivated to do something, because it either brings the pleasure, they think it is important, or they feel that what they are learning is significant. It has been shown that in intrinsic motivation for education drops from grade 3 to 9, though the exact cause cannot be ascertained. Also in younger student, it has been shown and that conceptualizing materials that would otherwise be presented in an abstract manner or increase the intrinsic motivation of these studies. For example, if you are in a college because you enjoy learning and want to make yourself a more well-rounded individual, you are intrinsically motivated. Extrinsically motivated behavior, in contrast, are performed in order to receive something from others. They do not come from within the individual but from the society or from other peoples. It comes into play when a student is compelled to do something or act a certain way because of factor external to him or her, like money or good grades. So the extrinsic motivation is basically comes from outside or comes from external sources or external forces like society or other peoples. For example, employee might do their work because they want the company to pay them, not because they love the work. Many athletes are driven by the goal of winning, beating the competition, receiving praise from fans. They are not driven by the intrinsic satisfaction they get from playing the sport. Similarly, if you are in a college because you want to make yourself more marketable for a high paying career or to satisfy the demands of your parents, then your motivation is more extrinsic in nature. In reality, our motivation are often a mix of both intrinsic and extrinsic factor, and the nature of mix and the nature of mix can change over time. For example, say cooking is one of your favorite hobby. You love to cook for others whenever you get a chance, and you can easily spend hours in the kitchen. You are intrinsically motivated to cook. Then you decide to go to the school and eventually get a job working as a chef in a good restaurant. You are now getting a extrinsic reinforcements. Example, getting paid for your work, and may over time become more extrinsically and intrinsically motivated. Sometimes intrinsic motivation can diminish when extrinsic motivation is given. This process is known as the over justification effect. This can lead to extinguishing the intrinsic motivation and creating the dependence on extrinsic rewards for continued performance. At a workplace, there are different types of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation factors are work. In extrinsic, there is a salary, bonuses, perks, promotional grades, or punishments or layoffs, etc. And the factors of intrinsic motivations, that is a learning and growth opportunities, social contacts and status, respects and honor related to a work or curiosity, etc. So these factors are work for an individual perform well in an organization, or performing with a efficiency for making or increasing the productivity at workplace. So now, importance of motivation. Why motivation is important? If we could apply the concept of motivation at workplace, we could achieve the following results. First is our importance for quality. A motivated employee always try to maintain high quality standards. Say, he will work little extra to ensure that he made no mistakes in his work. A quality criteria is very important issue for organization to get new work and orders. Now, importance of motivation for creativity. A motivated employee uses his creativity to devise a methodology and way to simplify a job or to find out a method to save them. Now, importance of motivation for efficiency and productivity. A motivated worker will improve upon his knowledge and his skills, and thus result is high productivity. It is a fact that fewer workers are needed to produce an automobile in Japan than the elsewhere. Motivation is found to be one of the main reason for that. So motivation enhance the efficiency of the employee and of organization. When employees are motivated, they can perform with commitments and dedications. Now, importance of motivation for optimization of resources. Motivated workers makes the best use of the company's resources, thus minimizing waste and cost of production as well, resulting in the maximum use of its physical and financial resources. It has been found that a motivated employee even uses less company resources such as a telephone, printer for his own personal benefits. So motivated employee always helps to improve the efficiency of inputs at a workplace, which resulting in a maximum productivity or increase in a productivity. So now, importance of motivation for good human relations. A motivated worker is happy and also keep people around him happy. There is a less friction or clashes between workers and also between workers and management due to or because of motivation. It also enables cordial and healthy relationships in the organization. Motivation helps reduce labor grievances and disputes. It ensures sound relationship between the management and the labor, and it is also helps to improve the overall efficiency of the organization. Now, the importance of motivation for less absenteeism and less complaints. As a worker is satisfied, he complains less and work more. Even his reason for being absent or decrease uh, and absent decrease, and he spent more days working in the organization. Motivated employee may not remain absent or leave the organization. They develop a sense of belongingness towards the organization and thus improve the overall performance. Now, the importance of motivation for a less attrition rate. A motivated worker is satisfied and so remain loyal to the company by not leaving it. Also, a company with an employee satisfaction records attract more competent people applying for the job. For example, won't be applied to those companies which give us a better salary. So, motivation is very important for employee. Motivated employees are more loyal to the organization. They work with a sense of commitments and dedications. They improve the overall performance of the employees, and which enables better results for the company. This results in better relationship with all the stakeholders. Now we discuss a process of motivation. So there is a series of steps which is to be understood to understand the concept of motivation. First of all, unsatisfied needs. And unsatisfied needs create tensions that stimulate the drive within an individual to generate a such behavior. Toffin's particular goals, if attained, will satisfy the need and reduce the tension. In a first step, every action or choice which we make start from a point called need. Need is a lack or deficit of some necessities. Need may be a psychological need for recognition, may be a physiological like need for a water, air, or food, or it may be social need for friendship, need for love, etc. So, in a second step, the condition of need leads to drive. Drive is a state of tension or arousal produced by a need. And then we search for ways to reduce or eliminate them. Thus, motivation becomes goal oriented. The activities we perform may be rewarding or punishing. That is, it may be satisfy our needs or not satisfy our needs. If need is satisfied or goal is achieved, it may leads to drive reduction. If the goal is not achieved, we again reassess our needs, need deficiencies. Goal achieved, not achieved is also referred to an incentive or reward or punishment that which leads towards a goal achievement or away from it. So, need is an internal state that makes certain outcomes attractive. So, this is the overall process which generate from a need identification. After then, which create a tension, we drive forces, goal-oriented behavior or activities. If goal achieved, drive reduction or need satisfaction we achieve. If goal not achieved, reassess the needs and we can identify the need again for achieving their satisfaction level or achieving their motivational level at top. So this is the overall process which is start with the unsatisfied need and fulfill by the satisfied need. Maslow's says that people are motivated by unsatisfied need. The lower level needs such as the physiological and safety need must be satisfied before addressing higher level needs. One can relate Maslow's hierarchy or need theory with employees' motivation. For example, if managers attempt to motivate their employee by satisfying the needs, according to Maslow, they should try to satisfy the lower level needs before trying to satisfy the upper level needs. Otherwise, the employee will not become motivated. Manager should also remember that not everyone will be satisfied by the same needs. So being a good manager will try to figure out which level of needs are relevant to a given individual or employee. Maslow places money at the lowest level of the hierarchy and postulates other needs as better motivators to staff. So the motivated employee always look for better ways to do a job. He always work for a more quality. He always quality oriented. Motivated workers are more productive. So overall, workplace lies about the midway between the extreme of high threats and high opportunities. Nowadays, modern organization which adopt non-monetary employee motivation methods rather than trying it with tangible rewards. When the reward is about aimed and fulfilling employee contribution, is participation and individual satisfaction, it boosts their morale, provide a positive work environment, encourage team contribution and rewards, proper feedback are given, give challenging roles as well, and empowering employee with the training and independent thinking. In conclusion, it is not a matter whether a employee is motivated or whether an employee is unmotivated or more motivated than other employees. It's a matter of understanding what motivates employee before providing a certain types of feedback. Furthermore, it is also important to note that despite the organizational environment or work environment and a style of leader or manager, the overall environment plays a role in an employee's intrinsic motivation, which helps to improve employees' performance at workplace, his efficiency at workplace, and also helps to raise or boost up the morale of employee and provide a direction towards a goal oriented behavior. Thank you.